It is DJ Ash Noble here. Welcome back to another stream. I am absolutely shattered, but I am absolutely on a buzz right now. I'm on a high. I'm on just the most good vibes that you can just ever be on. And yeah, we're going to talk about all that in today's stream. So, we're going to talk about Zebfest 2024. So, you may be thinking, no, but what the hell is Zebfest? You've never mentioned this once on your channel. And I don't think I have, unless I've mentioned it somewhere deep in some other stream where you'd have to go like 20 minutes in or something. I don't think I have mentioned Zebfest 2024. So with my youth work with the Goodwin Development Trust, so for those of you who don't know, I run a project called the Whole Youth Music Network Project, and we put events on. We do normally do like networking events, and we do like free music sessions, and we kind of offer we offer a path, and we offer a way for kind of like upcoming musicians in Hull to get like performance opportunities, to tell us what they think is missing within the music scene in Hull. And alongside doing all that, we sometimes get asked or given opportunities to get involved in events. So sometimes other events will like draft us in, and they want us to put like a music stage on. And this is the situation with Zebfest 2024. So I would have spoke about I would have spoke about the same event round about this time last year, as we did the same event last year. We ran a music stage. The event went under the name Beat the Heat, but it's now been brought to an upgrade. It's now been changed to Zebfest, and the event took place this year with some improvements and some changes to make things better than what it was last year. Last year was absolutely amazing, don't get me wrong. It was a really good vibe, it was a really good event. And myself and the Layman, we performed and did our ragga tracks. And that is crazy to think that it's already been a year since then. And just like that, the next one came around, and they drafted us in, and they wanted us to run the music stage. So we run the Whole Youth Music Network stage, and basically my job is just anything music related at the event is all organised, arranged by me. So the only thing I didn't arrange and kind of like plan with the event myself was I didn't hire the stage. I didn't hire the sound technician. They were all through the person who like physically like puts the event on herself. So a woman called Cheryl, who like uses the yard and hires the yard, and plans where the stage and everything is going to be. We just kind of arrange everything and who's going to play on the stage, and basically Goodwin's involvement in the event, essentially. So this year I was asked again, look, we want to find local acts, bands, singers, DJs, whatever. We want to fill a little bit of a lineup together of some acts and things. So I went on a little bit of a hunting mission and found some singers, some bands, some acts. I wanted to use some different people. I wanted to use some people that we haven't used before with the Whole Youth Music Network, just because I essentially just wanted to change things up a bit. And I think the part of our network and what we do is to kind of like show light and give new artists them like performance opportunities. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the people that we've used in the past. We wouldn't have used them if there was, and I love the people that we've used in the past, and that is to, not to say that we'll never use them again, because we most definitely will. They represent the youth, and they do a really good job at it. But sometimes we just need to find something a little bit different, something that's going to just keep things entertaining. So there's different people on the lineup, there's different musicians, different bands that are coming through. Big respect to you. So my task was to get 8 different acts. So that could vary from like solo singers to bands to anybody doing anything kind of like music related that would go down well and fit like an event that is kind of focused on something for like young people and teenagers in the summer holidays. So people that are sort of from 11 going sort of all the way up to 16, with the extent that I think they did kind of just let some younger people come in as well. So we had to kind of fill for that. So you couldn't just get some like a folk singer or something. It's got to kind of, to a degree, it's got to fit like the criteria of the age range, and what like young kids would really like want to see. So I booked these acts, and today was the day. Today was the day where the festival took place. So the festival took place today on a Zebedee's Yard in Hull. So it's normally a big giant car park. That's what it normally is when it's not being used for like event spaces. And it was closed off for this event space. There was a massive stage. And then there was all different kinds of tents that were offering like different things. Um, you know, there was pizza making. There was like craft stalls. There was like makeup stalls for girls. Like photo shoot stalls. There was all different things going on. I wasn't really aware too much of the other stalls that were going on. Like I saw a few of them, but the yard's quite a big yard. My focus was mainly the music stage. That was kind of where I was kind of located for the majority of the day. I did have like the odd little wonder just sort of around the festival a little bit, but because I was so kind of attached to the stage, really, because I had to do a lot of work today. I just didn't really get chance to see too much of the festival. But from what I saw, like everything was doing well. Like all the stalls were doing well. Everybody was having a good time. So that was obviously the main thing. That was that was a good thing. So yeah, so it took place today. It started at 2:30 and it went through until 6:30. And what can I say? Like, what a day it was. And I really like. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I don't like to blow smoke up my own ass, but I feel fucking proud right now. Like, what we pulled off today was absolutely amazing. Um, absolutely, just absolutely amazing what we pulled off today on that yard with the music acts and things like that. And what we did last year was good. Don't get me wrong. I can't knock what we did last year. But what we did this year just absolutely annihilated it. It blew it out of the park. It blew it out of we had way more people that came to the festival itself. The music lineup, the only thing I would have said about the music lineup is I would have loved to have like advertised the music lineup a little bit sooner. But there was like a pre-flyer that was going around. And that was kind of, it said there was live music, it said there was all these different, stalls and food and different things going on, which is interesting in itself. But people just didn't obviously know by that poster what kind of live acts were on. And that was due to, I got told that somebody else was making the poster with the band names on. So I sent a list to that person. That person, I think, just never got time to make the poster. Then I had to make a poster last minute, which was like not the thing that I wanted to do. And I got a couple of small teething issues wrong, like I spelt I spelt a band name wrong, and then I shouted them out wrong on the microphone, and then I told somebody set time in emails, and then I'd given them a different set time down on the set time list, and luckily we managed to iron out them little teething issues, which, you know, they were just little issues that, you know, you're bound to come across just a few little issues, but we ironed them out, and everything went smoothly. There was one performer that came sort of like really unprepared for what she was going to perform with, and she basically was playing music from a phone, but she has like the newer phone where you don't have the aux input for headphones, so you have to get like a USB type C to aux, and that is kind of like how you can connect your phone to like a sound system on a big stage. So she didn't have this lead, so we had to put a couple of acts on early. We had to try and sort this lead situation out, which we did, and everything seemed to go quite smoothly from there on. And it was just a really good day. So we had a really big number of people coming into the event. I don't know exactly how many. I think there was, for like funders and things, I think there was like a target of how many people they were hoping to get through the gate, and I know that they got a fair few through the gate. And I think, you know, I was speaking to someone who I work with at Goodwin, and they were saying, like, you know, they were quite positive, not long into the event being open, that we were going to hit that target, and it was really busy, and people were, you know, there was all different people in all kinds of the different tents, and then some people were sort of, you know, there was some people that come to the event and they liked the music, but they liked doing a lot of the other things, and then there was other people that came sort of just for the music, and, you know, they'd sit near the stage and they'd be sort of dedicated to the music, and where there was like some of the kids that wanted to go off and do the crafty things and make pizzas, and you know, enjoy the vibe of the event and stuff. And there was a hot dog van and stuff like that, which was really good. And we offered drinks and snacks on our rider, so artists, they got a rider, they could have like cans of pop, bottles of water, which was like a really good thing. And the event just went really well, I think, you know, everything, apart from a few hiccups that we were kind of quickly, you know, we was quickly sort of able to iron them out. And you know, we managed to, you know, because when you do things like when you put like events on and you're booking bands and things, 9 times out of 10, and I know sort of from the experience of doing this for a couple of years now, that sticking to set times is very hard. You know, sound checking with bands, they can always go over, bands, you know, if they get stuck in traffic or they turn up late. It's not like when you're a DJ and you turn up to an event and you plug your USB stick into a pair of decks. It's a lot more, you know, you have to sound check a drum and you've got to go through each element, so the kick drum, the snare, the hi-hat, you know, and that can all take time. And, you know, to stick to your schedules and then changeovers from each act, you know, you can really, really, you know, you can really go behind and stuff like that. And to start with, it was looking like we were going to go behind. So I made a little error with the set times, and I got somebody's set time wrong. So I told somebody a set time in emails, and then I wrote them down on the set list to be potentially later than they were, and they couldn't be at that later time. So I had to just essentially put this band on first, which wasn't a bad thing, and then move these other acts a bit further back. And one of the acts who was originally going on first was the one who had the power adapter issue. But we started just ever so slightly late, but as the day went on, we kind of seemed to pick up the time, and then we kind of got back, and everything was really smooth, and we literally ended like at 6:30. So like I was due to DJ at 6 o'clock and just kind of do like the final half hour of the event with the layman hosting me. And you know, I think maybe to like just 1 or 2 minutes Like we pretty much did, like I DJ'd pretty much at 6 o'clock. As a matter of fact, I might have even DJ'd just ever so slightly. I could have DJ'd at like 5:57 something, even like that. So we was really good on the time, and we'd really caught up on the time, which was an amazing thing. It was an amazing situation, and it was a really good thing. I was like really buzzed about that. And yeah, everything just went like really smoothly. Big shout to Will. And all the acts, like I've got to say, like all the acts, like they smashed it. The first band, they came on and they was really good, and people was asking about them, like where did you find this band, where did you hear them from, how did you how did you get you know how did you get this band at the event and stuff. And they wanted to speak to this band about doing things, which is good. They like the band, and it's given the band opportunities, and they literally are just called the band. But I heard them at an event a couple of months back, and I thought they did really well. And then I just sort of like, look, I'd love you to come and do the Zebfest kind of thing. So yeah, they were really good. And then there was we've had such a long day. I'm trying to remember like who came on next, like, because that was obviously like the thing of like who came on next. I think we had an acoustic singer that came on second, and he absolutely annihilated it. So it was a guy called Alex Chapler. Um, and he just absolutely nailed it. So he was going to come on after the person who had the adapter issue, but we put him on first while we sorted her adapter out. So we had this guy come on, and he absolutely nailed it. He was really good. He just played like acoustic guitar, and he was singing, and he sang really well. He sang really beautifully. And he did some really good songs. And then we followed with Scarlett Howard. So we've used Scarlett Howard before. She did the Beat the Heat last year. She's done, I think we did, I did something, I did like an out of the box, like part of an out of the box event, sort of November time, October time last year. We did that, and she performed on that as well. But she did really well. She sang some covers, she sang some originals, and I played music off of my phone that she'd sent me, which went really well. Apart from I got a phone call while one of the songs was playing, and for whatever reason, it's mad. I got a phone call, but I didn't. So what had happened is I've been having some issues with my Facebook Messenger, and before she went on, I'd missed a phone call from my dad, so I'd rang him back. And I said, look, I'm just at work, and there was just a bit of a personal family issue to talk about. And for whatever reason, even though I'd spoken to him, my messenger was like delayed. So like it told me like a good 10 minutes after I'd spoken to him that he was trying to ring me, and it dipped the music for like a split couple of seconds. I had to go and just sort it out midway through a song. That was a little bit annoying. It wasn't obviously my dad's fault. He'd already rang me, we'd spoke. It was something with my phone. But she sang really well, so that was really good. And then we finally got Marverick on after the sort of like adapter issues. She sang really well, really good. She sang absolutely amazing. And then we got a band on called Elson, and for me they were really good. They absolutely really played a good performance. They were absolutely rocking it. And at this point, I was thinking, I think this is the best act of the night. They did really well. And then we put the next band on, which I'm not going to try and... Well, I've been getting their name wrong. And I still don't know if I'm even probably going to say it right now. But I don't know if it was Affliction or something like that, or... something like that, but I spelt it wrong, and then I think on the time of the performance, I said like application or something like that, or affliction, or I don't know. I can't fully remember how you pronounce their name. So I announced it wrong. There was a little bit of laughs and giggles. They came on, and when I say annihilated the show, they fucking annihilated the show. Like, they killed it. And the mad thing about this was they've never gigged before, so they've not even been playing as a band that long, and they did like real kind of like heavy metal, like screamo kind of style. But they went down. There was people dancing at the front of the stage. There was people head rocking. There was people cheering. They were just going wild for it. The band themselves on stage, their crowd interaction, like, you could not fault their crowd interaction and how well they interacted with the crowd and got the crowd involved, and got them clapping and cheering, and got them just absolutely going for it. And it was just absolutely amazing to see. Like, it was so good, honestly. And then they did this song, and I can't remember what the song was called, but it's got a really, really tricky guitar solo in the song, and the guitarist nailed it. Like, apart from a couple of, he went out a couple of times, but like, to say, how hard the solo is, he nailed the solo. And then the amount of love that they got after their performance, like, that people was shaking their hands, people was hugging them, people was coming up to them saying, really good performance. People loved it. People loved it. And I think because they were a little bit kind of like screamo, they were a bit heavy metal, they were a little bit dark, they were a little bit loud. I think at first the festival owner, like, who was putting the festival on, was a bit like, oh, I'm not really sure about this. But then when like the crowd and people at the festival, when they reacted so well to the band, I think it just kind of took everything away, and made her think, do you know what? Because sometimes it's about, like, the whole thing of doing this festival. It's what the young people want. It's what the kids want. You can't, in a lot of sense, you can't put something on and say it's for what the kids want, and then just go, oh, that's too loud and banging, we'll have to turn it down, or they can't go on, kind of thing. I know, like, there's a limit to, you can't just absolutely boom and blast things, but sometimes you've got to understand that that's the type of act they are. They're loud. That's exactly what they are, and that is part of their act. And they play that loud styled music, and they've brought a following, and they've all come into the event, and it's populated the event. And it was a really, really good thing, and they nailed it. And then a guy called Jazz Hancox, he came on, and he was really good. He really toned it down after them coming in like real heavy. And he did like some really, really good covers of some really good like classic songs, and just sang really beautifully. Like, you could just tell that, like, he just loved his music. He was just there with his guitar, and he was just absolutely smashing it. He was nailing it. He was absolutely just he was just ripping it up. Absolutely 100%. Really good. And then myself and the layman, we finished off DJing, and we did a clubland stroke a bounce set. And yesterday, if you'd have said like, no, but like, are you gonna drop any bounce here? I would have been like, no, they're not gonna like bounce. No, we're not doing any bounce. And then we were gonna do like a full-on clubland set. And to a degree, I did play a couple of clubland songs. Don't get me wrong, but then I thought, well, I've got some bounce remixes of like indie songs. So if I minimally play them, like if I kind of like just fade out and drop some of them in, without actually having to beat match, which I know that like, it's not technically mixing, but it's just putting a cue point on where the breakdown would start, doing a fade out, and then just banging that tune in on the drop into the breakdown, which it worked really well. And then there was a couple of tracks where I did mix them in, just to show, look, I'm in the mix. I can't, I am mixing in as well, and stuff like that. We played like Heaven Is a Place on Earth, and I did a bounce remix of Sweet Child of Mine, and just did some really good stuff. Not So Bad. My tea's gone cold. I'm wondering why. The Dimitri Vegas version. Did a little bit of a mixture, and it actually worked out quite well. People were leaving. Some people stuck around. We got the ambulance crew dancing, so there was obviously like ambulances, paramedics on site, St John's ambulance, and that was like a really good thing, and just got some people dancing and enjoying the vibe, which was really really good to see. And people loved it. People really enjoyed the set. People said we smashed it as well, which was really good. And it just gave a little bit of variety to the event. And what I felt, which was really good, is like each act gave something different. So everybody kind of did something unique, whether, some of the solo singers, they sang some original stuff. And then if they did do a cover, it wasn't like two solo artists like sang the same cover. They all sang something different. The bands, they all had a different style. So one band was kind of like doing all the like I said, the heavy kind of Slipknot, the screamo, the heavy metal, and then there was another band that was a little bit more kind of like chilled out and did some originals, and then the band themselves, they did some covers, and they sang some really good covers and stuff, and it just made what was an amazing event. So really good. I wanted to stream about this because I felt so proud. I feel like we pulled it off, and I feel like we could definitely do even better next year. And hopefully, if they do one next year, if they get funding to do one next year, if Zebfest does return in July next year, hopefully we are running the stage, and hopefully everything does go well, and hopefully we can do it again, and we can put some more great acts on, and we can do some more good stuff, and hopefully it will be absolutely groovy, and it will be really good to see some people that are going to absolutely tear up the place. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. So I think so. What I did kind of this year compared to last year was I shifted a lot of the acts that were on the last year, and they weren't obviously playing this year. And then there was I think this year we had one act that was kind of playing. That played last year, and then we kind of got some new faces in. So I think next year the plan is going to be somewhat similar. So we'll try and hunt for new acts and new bands, and then there might just be where we ask a couple, maybe two of the solo acts, do you want to come back this year, kind of thing. And nothing against the other people we booked. I love them. Like I say, I think the Screamo band did the best performance of the night, but I just think it makes the event kind of fresh, kind of each year. Like we didn't do our reggae songs this year, so I think it just changes things up a little bit, and it was just a really good thing. So I think next year, if we are doing it again, if we just have a few new people, and then just keep a couple of last year's acts, just so it still keeps changing it up a bit, and stuff like that. But it's a bit early to tell. They're probably still, they probably finished packing down now, but everything, this year's has literally only just happened, so there probably won't be any kind of thought about next year's yet. But I'm sure next year we'll be doing one. So I will keep you posted if we are. Make sure to make sure to comment, share, all of that good stuff, and I'll see you next time.